Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lattes on My Mind. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Felina.
What are we talking about this fine, dreary day?
Dreary?
Well, it's a little cloudy.
It's a little cloudy, I guess, yeah. We are talking about the Bath County meat shower.
Oh, that doesn't sound pleasant.
It's interesting.
Okay, so grab your lattes and join us for the journey.
How the heck have you been, Hannah?
My back hurts.
My back hurts.
My back has been killing me this week, and every time I climb up the stairs, my left knee is like in pain. I'm like,
okay, Grandma.
I know. I'm like, come on. And we were discussing my birthday a little bit last night, and I was like, dang, I'm going to be 31. And do you know, I should know this because it's so obvious, but do you know when it's your birthday, you actually like complete the age you just did?
Yeah.
So you're already 30 when
your first birthday,
right,
you're technically on your second year of life.
Yeah, technically. I mean, I know that, but like I never thought about it. And then I read a meme and I was like, well, crap. Oh my gosh.
But, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
Everybody does that.
So I'm a real grandma, like for real.
Not really. You're only 30 years old.
Yeah, but just wait. One day all of a sudden I'll be 40. And that's scary.
Yeah. We got 10 years.
We got 10 years?
You got 10 whole years till that's an issue.
You got longer than 10 years.
I have longer than 10 years,
Yeah.
but you have 10 years.
It's approaching fast, y'all.
It's okay.
Was it over the hill or what do they say?
Marshall will be 30.
I know. We've been talking about
next month. Literally in a month, he'll be 30.
Yeah, we've been talking about
a month
when
and
to
a
get
day.
him, right?
Yeah.
Don't tell him.
And everybody don't tell Marshall what I'm getting him.
Yeah, but also he could be
But
listening.
also, I'm not going to tell you guys because he listens to random. He doesn't listen to the podcast.
But he will listen to random
But
stuff.
he'll listen to random ones randomly.
He'll just see it and kind of be like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Wes has not, I don't think, ever listened to one full episode.
Yeah.
So.
So unsupportive.
Yeah, I know, really.
Come on, guys.
Marriage.
Marriage is what brings us together today.
Also, let me tell you, I waited like 30 minutes in the coffee line this morning. It might have been 25.
Lord.
It was wrapped around the building, and I was like, what
She
is
said
everyone
it's out
doing?
on the side road because the road that it's on, there's like the main road, and then there's these little side roads to get to the businesses. And so she was on the side road. She's like, it's wrapped to the side road. I said, oh.
But I was getting my coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it.
Gosh darn it. We need the coffee in order.
Since I've been on Weight Watchers, and we know that Felina does not like the taste of the coffee.
No, she doesn't.
My chais are kind of expensive point wise.
Yeah.
And so I've been getting the peach green teas.
Yeah.
Which are delicious.
I'm glad you like them.
I love them.
I just waste all my points on the coffee.
Yeah. No, see, it's not worth it for me.
Yeah. Now, this is a sugar-free with oat milk. Milk?
Oat milk.
Oat milk?
It's got oat milk.
I don't know where that came from.
Oops.
Oat milk. Which is not bad. I don't usually do sugar-free stuff, and I've been experimenting with it just for Weight Watchers. And I will tell you, it doesn't taste so bad. They can hide it in these coffees. I don't know why.
Probably because coffee tastes so vile.
It
so
does
pungent.
not. Stop it. Our podcast is called Lattes on My Mind. Don't be saying that coffee tastes vile.
Coffee tastes vile, and I stand by it.
Nah, we'll get her there one day.
It's funny. It's a play on a lot on my mind.
I just insisted that we had coffee in the title. Really?
She did. But it's fun. It's a little pun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
A pun.
A little pun, if you would.
One might say.
I have been so busy.
I know you have. I'm so sorry.
But we have good news to report, everybody.
Oh, gosh.
We have fantastic news to report.
We do?
Hannah got a second job.
I did.
She got hired.
I did. Yeah, I have some stuff I have to do tomorrow. And I don't know if I hate myself or like I just want money.
I told her to remember whenever, because like, when you start a new job, you're like excited at first, and then like a month down the road, you're like, I hate my life. Yeah. So I told her to remember when she starts to get that way, that this is not a permanent thing. She will not have 2 jobs forever.
Right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. This might suck me back in. You know me.
Yeah. 7 more years.
Yeah. It's okay. It happens.
It's fine. Totally fine.
I will say, I mean, I haven't done 2 jobs before, but I've done school and job before, and that was like being at school all day long and then going to work, so it's kind of similar.
It's kind of the same. Yeah, but you're also older now.
Yeah, it's true. The bones are falling. My gosh, where did this snot go?
She snotted all over her microphone.
I'm so sorry, everyone. Yeah, the bones are not holding up like they used to, but I'll be fine.
You'll be fine. You'll be good.
Like, what are you waving? I was like,
you'll be good. You'll be good.
I hope so. It's, yeah. So y'all pray for me when you think of me.
Yeah, she's gonna be so busy. Yeah. Whereas my busyness is for like.
Yeah, have you told the people what you're doing?
This month and next month is like my busyness, but the last 3 weekends of it, during the week I'm not busy. It's just my weekends.
That's true. That's true. Because you're doing a little play.
I'm doing a little play. I don't know if I told the people.
I don't either. It's been a minute.
Assistant stage managing a play.
Yeah.
A musical, actually.
Yeah, she's going to sing for us. Not really.
Not actually. I'm, as I said, assistant stage managing. Yeah. I'm not in it. I didn't even know what was happening. I had a friend reach out to me who is the stage manager and was like, yo. And I was like, cool,
yo. She was like, yo, and you knew exactly.
And I said, coolio, and then that was it. That was what it was. Yeah.
So we're both. Well, I'm about to be busy. I just feel like I'm always busy. I always find things to do. That's the thing is, except when I fall asleep for 2 hours.
Yeah, she's a nap girly.
I am a nap girly. Used not to be. I'm telling you. I used to be like, what a waste of time, and now I'm like, girl.
I don't even think it's a waste of time. I'll be tired. I'll get home, I'll lay down, and then I'll be awake.
You just can't. Yeah.
Like if I stood up, I'd be like tired and wanting to lay down. Yeah. But like if I'm laying down, I'm awake. I just can't fall asleep. Yeah. It's rare I can actually fall asleep for a nap.
I feel bad for you. Well, see, but the thing is, like when I'm up, most of the time, I mean, sometimes I'm lazy, but most of the time I'm like, ooh, this needs that, and that's probably why I nap, honestly, because I never like just rest when I'm up.
See, I rot.
That's okay.
I'll lay on the couch to take a nap and then I'll just scroll through TikTok.
Yeah.
Are you a rotter? Everybody let us know. Are you guys rotters or are you nappers?
Yeah. I'm napper.
I'm a rotter. Hannah's a napper.
Yeah, that's so true. Speaking of rot.
It
feels like that might go with your topic.
The meat shower?
Yeah, I just heard meat shower and I imagine meat falling from the sky. Is that what's happening?
That would be correct.
Oh my gosh.
So it was in Bath County in Kentucky. Which is where we're not in Bath County, but we're in Kentucky.
The great state of Kentucky. What would be a Kentucky accent? Does Felina have a Kentucky accent, guys?
Felina doesn't have a
Kentucky accent. I don't think you do.
Felina doesn't have a Kentucky accent because I don't know why I'm talking about myself in third person. I don't have a Kentucky accent because I do weird accents all the time. But my parents are from Indiana.
Yeah. Well, that's funny.
So because, they don't have Kentucky accents.
Yeah. My mom is from Indiana.
Yeah.
And then my dad is from Illinois.
And then we have family friends.
Yeah.
When we were little, we had family friends from like all over the place. So it's like our dialect was formed from everything.
I feel like we both have like a little bit of what is it? It's a Midwestern. It's mostly Midwestern, but then it's like also we have like different ways we pronounce things. And
like monster.
My sisters, they're probably listening to this. They were like, "Oh yeah, we say it like you do." We thought it was weird that Felina was like making fun of you so much.
No, it's because it's monster.
Yeah, so I was like, I think we were just maybe didn't say it right growing up, and then that's how we ended up saying it. I don't know.
Monster. Both. You'll say both.
Yeah, my O's are weird.
She pronounces her O's.
I try to say it.
Instead of both, she goes,
It feels weird. Both.
Not both.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it that way.
Yeah, but you usually do.
Oh, well, yeah. But no, but now I can't because Wes has made fun of me so much for it that he's mean.
He's mean. I think it's just funny because it's like we hear different, like, you know, like it's a different dialect. So it's like, it's not what we're used to hearing.
Like, well, Wes says this, and I think I've mentioned this before, but you don't say this. He says we have to go to the grocery. And I'm like, the grocery store?
Yeah, that's weird.
I just say we have to go to the store.
I say we have to go to the store.
Yeah, he just says we have to go to the grocery. And I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense to me. The grocery that's not a complete sentence.
Must be a Kentucky thing.
Yeah. Well, because, your parents are from Kentucky.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Kentucky. I will say my cousins used to tell me that whenever we came to Indiana, we sounded like we were from Kentucky. And then whenever we'd come back from Indiana, our friends would tell us we sounded like we had been in Indiana. Like they could tell the difference in how we were talking.
I think my family from Indiana can tell a difference with us as well. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't hear it. Like, I mean, I'm from Virginia, pretty much.
So watch your mouth.
What is that? What?
Young man, I'm from Virginia, so watch Hamilton.
Hamilton. Yeah.
I was like, I know you know this one.
Yeah. I mostly listen to Hamilton, like the certain songs I like on repeat, and then the others I forget about.
Yeah.
I'm like, that song. Oops. But
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was a theater kid, so
yeah,
it happens.
These things happen.
Anywho, we got on another tangent. I'm so sorry, people.
I always try to save it, and it doesn't work.
So March 3rd of 1876.
1876,
which is quite a ways away.
That's been a minute.
Which will be impressive here in a second.
Oh.
And by here in a second, I mean towards the end of the episode.
Oh, okay, it'll just wait.
It'll come out. Actually, the very end of the episode. Now that I'm thinking about it,
it's okay. Keep the people in suspense.
Yeah. So it's 1876.
Okay.
This event is now known as the Kentucky Meat Shower.
Oh,
not like just the Bath County Meat Shower, but it's now famously known as the Kentucky Meat Shower.
I'm so glad we're famous for that.
Yeah, so great. Delicious. Especially when we find out what it most likely probably was.
Yeah.
So the Crouch family farm was in Bath County, and it's Alan Crouch and his wife. I could not find a name for his wife.
Oh.
Yeah.
I couldn't find
Lenora. I don't Lenora, like the bird.
Sure, I don't know. Is that a bird?
No, she's Lenora. Isn't that like a Edgar Allan Poe? Like, isn't there like a poem, and then there's the Lenora, and it's a bird?
Maybe. I thought it was a name. And
I'm pretty sure.
Lenora.
Well, Lenora is a name, but like it's
It's
like in the like in the poem, it's a bird.
Lenore.
We're
gonna
call her Mrs. Crouch because that's what everybody on the internet calls her. I'm sorry. So it's about 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Right? Okay. So it's like around that area, around noon, around this time actually. Yes. Noon. So Mrs. Crouch. She's outside.
Okay.
She is making soap, homemade soap.
Wonderful.
Which, iconic. I guess it is the 1900s, so you kind of have to make your own soap.
Kinda, yeah.
It's kind of you can't. I mean, it's not readily available. You can't just go to the grocery.
Right, to the grocery. Uh-oh.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, I got distracted. Can I tell about the pizza story?
Yeah. Okay. What's the pizza story?
Your pizza story?
My pizza story?
Wes's pizza story.
Why am I not? Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, Hannah and Wes were going to get pizza, right? Okay.
Yeah, Wes was going to get pizza.
Wes was going to get pizza. And
I was dropping him off.
Yes. And so he walks in, and the guy, he's like, you know how like when you go to pick, was it? I don't want to say the name of the place.
Oh.
It was a chain place. You know, you go in, you order online, you go in, and then you can see your name on the board and you're waiting, right? And so he was waiting, and then all of a sudden the worker goes, Weasel?
Like, Weasel?
And looks at Wes, and Wes goes, Wesley? And he goes, yeah.
He goes, oh yeah, my bad. Or something. I would have turned beet red and crawled under the counter.
Iconic. So now I've been referring to him as Weasel. Not to his face, because honestly, we haven't talked much.
Yeah. What is with that?
He hasn't called much. He doesn't call. He doesn't text.
When does he call you?
No, you when I'm there. He calls you when I'm there. I said I can't wait to call him Weasel.
Yeah. He's been busy. I mean, he also got a new, promoted. Yeah. Not a new job, but
new
promoted. New position. So yeah, he's been busy, and he hasn't been calling me as much, which is
Yeah.
He's so horrible at texting, though. He's never going to text you. I mean, don't feel offended because, I mean, he hardly texts in general.
Well, no, I mean, I wasn't expecting. He actually does text me sometimes. And sometimes it's we need your help settling a debate. Does this lamp look better here or here? I said,
with me.
Not knowing any context.
Here's the thing about Felina. She won't just side with her friend. She will side.
I won't.
I mean,
I'll side with what's right.
Yeah. We're both your friends, but like, you will not choose based on who you're with or something like that. You'll actually, she's unobjective. What am I? Is that the right word? Unobjective?
Or I am objective.
Or you are
No. What's objective mean, actually?
You're objective. No, you're not No. Wow. Okay. Well.
Let us know.
You know what I mean.
You can email us at lattespodcast@gmail.com or reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram at Lattes on My Mind and let us know, what does the word objective mean?
Yeah.
Because now we're confused.
Now I'm confused. But anyway, Lenora, Mrs. Crouch.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, I had to tell this story because I think it's
totally forgot.
It's the sheer confidence of the worker saying the name Weasel.
And the thing is, well, now I'm getting distracted again, but I said, no, he did not. And I had to, I made Wes tell me like 4 times that he was not lying. I was like, you promise. Why
would he lie about that?
Because he makes crap up. Well, yeah, I know, but he likes to pull my leg, okay? I said, no, he did not.
Hannah's a very gullible person.
Exactly. So it's like, I had to be sure.
Yeah. But she's got a couple times.
I said, no, he did not. That's impossible. He did not call you Weasel.
Weasel?
And he's like, I swear. And I was like, you swear on this.
Did you look at the name on the box and did it say Wesley? Like, was it like mistyped or something? Like, did it have an A in it or something?
No, I don't think so because Wes, I think he has like his information saved on it.
Oh, that's so weird.
So.
Weasel.
I think the guy just did not read it.
He had a long day.
Yeah.
Give the pizza worker a break.
It is a long day.
Anyways,
sorry.
Speaking of who needs a break, it's Mrs. Crouch after she was making the soap. So she started to walk back into her house.
Okay.
She got about 40 yards from her house.
Okay. How long is
How long is 40 yards?
Yeah.
I was just about to say, I don't know how long 40 yards is.
Perfect.
I feel like it's pretty relatively close.
Yeah.
To the house. And then all of a sudden, meat began to fall from the sky.
Oh my goodness.
And it's like both her, Mr. Crouch, and Mr. Crouch, they reported that it happened for several minutes. So it wasn't like a boom, meat fell. And then it was like a piece fell and then a piece fell. And then like for several minutes, it was raining, for lack of a better term, raining meat.
Was it like really far? Like how, like, was it just around their house? Was it like,
it was 100 yards long and 50 yards wide.
Wow.
And it was like, their property.
What? Just their property?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Please explain.
So she said that some of the pieces looked to be the size of like snowflakes, like they were super small.
What?
But then other pieces were literally the size of her hands.
Did it fall on her?
I don't know if it fell like on her or if it was like she ran to the porch when she saw it happening or whatever. Nothing reported that like it got her. Now, I don't know about you, Hannah. I know you have relatively small fingers.
I do.
Or hands.
Yes.
I have relatively large hands.
She does.
So I see a piece of me. I'm tall, and I don't know how tall Mrs. Crouch was, but I imagine working on a farm, being a farm wife, she had a little bit larger of hands, muscle alone. But she said like width and length, it was like literally the size of her hand. And I'm just imagining. Even a piece of meat,
my hand size, even so,
your hand size. Falling from the sky randomly.
I mean, that's bigger than a piece of hail. You know what I mean? Even a baseball size hail. I mean, that's
like hold up your hand and then like try and imagine a piece of like flesh and meat falling from the sky randomly.
I'm just seeing a steak.
I know,
like a big old filet mignon,
like like perfectly cut.
Yeah.
Good old sirloin.
Right. Like, ooh, wonderful.
Yeah. But yeah, she like. I just couldn't imagine. She said that her and Alan both said that the family cat went outside after it was over.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, farm cats, they roam around outside, and he started eating. He started snacking on the meat that had fallen. And
I bet he did.
That's I could vomit right now.
Uh-oh.
So the meat, it got stuck to like fences and like the prickly bushes, and it was like stuck to the ground in certain spots, and that I could not imagine having to clean all of that up. No. Also, could you imagine? Like,
well, they probably let the animals do it.
Well, no, because then your house smells like rotting meat.
True.
You know, like the meat rots.
If it started falling, I'd been like, what is this? What's happening?
Yeah.
I'd been so scared.
Yeah. They, along with others, thought that it was some sort of warning from God.
Obviously.
Clearly, it is 1900s. So,
Well, I mean, when you can't explain something, it's like,
you can't fathom anything. Science isn't really as developed, especially in a small town in Kentucky.
Yeah, this is Kentucky.
So I can't imagine it was super, super science-y.
Not to throw shade at our fellow Kentuckians, but
in the 1876. 1876.
Oh yeah.
In 1876.
Yeah.
They're not gonna, even if there is someone who's super sciencey, it's not gonna be accurate science because it's 1876.
Yeah.
2, it just wasn't encouraged. Farming was the only science you're gonna know is for farming and like stuff like, especially in rural Kentucky.
Right.
So, anyways, news spread pretty swiftly. If you could imagine, meat falls. Yeah. I'm gonna be calling people. I'm gonna be like, I just got hit with some meat falling from the sky. What is going on?
Mrs. Kraft said, I'm going to the next farm.
Well, that's another thing. Is like, I know it's the 1800s, so like planes. Yeah. No. Not really. Like, it could be like, like they fell out of a plane, like something's going on. Right.
That's not really the case here.
That's not really, no. So it spread pretty quick. And people, the like surrounding neighbors and like the town and whatever, they all came out to get a good look at it.
Right.
They were like, what's happening
on the ground? Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people were like, oh, this feels like beef, or it looks like beef, or smells like beef. But it had like this like layer of like grease around it. And so it was like, what the heck?
Grease or fat? Like grease?
It was like greasy, fat, slimy, right? Like the... Yeah.
Viscous.
Just wait. I can't wait for... Okay. I can't wait for a theory that is...
gosh.
Pretty good one. So nobody wanted to really like try...
Well, for sure.
Meat, except for...
Oh, no.
There is a local hunter.
No, hunter.
Dear Bray Full
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know what came about of this hunter. I don't know if he died after eating this. I don't know if he cooked it.
I was going to say, did he cook it?
I don't know. All I know is that he tried a piece of it. And he proclaimed that it tasted like it was bear meat.
Bear meat. Okay.
Bear meat.
Beer.
I was doing a weird accent and I was like, that sounded like I said beer.
Bear
meat. Because he's a hunter, so he's going to hunt. So he's hunted. Yeah. He's tasted a bear before.
Especially in that time, you'd probably be killing whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's like, totally. Why would you be killing a bear?
Totally. So.
Okay.
And I guess it has a different texture too.
But it's like, it's obviously like, there's no...
It's flesh and meat and muscle.
It's not
and
fur, nothing like that. It's not like a bear just exploded, like...
No. Yeah, well, and if a bear did explode, why is it falling from the sky?
Right.
Especially because, like, Mrs. Crouch was like, it was like clear skies.
Gosh. Okay.
So... I don't know. Then a local butcher, meat, that's his forte. He inspected some samples of the meat. So he didn't like try it. He didn't eat it.
Good.
But he did inspect them and he said it looked like mutton. Which is like
lamb?
Sheep, lamb. Yeah.
Mutton.
But it smelled odd. He said it didn't smell like mutton. It smelled like bear. Maybe it smelled different, but it looked like it was mutton.
Interesting.
And some people agreed with him, like, yeah, it's mutton or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they're like desperate for answers. They're like, is this a sign from God? Are we under attack? Is there something gonna happen? What's going on?
Right.
What even is this? Is it even meat, or is it like, it looks like meat, but what even is it? You know, like what kind of meat is it?
Right.
So samples were sent literally all over the world. Like they were sent everywhere to like very well-known scientists, like at the time, so that they could examine them and hopefully get some answers.
Right.
They wanted to examine them, identify what kind of meat it was, and hopefully come up with, this is why this happened.
How do you ship meat at that time, like across the world?
I don't know.
Like,
I think that you put it in
ice.
No, I don't think you put it in ice. I think you would like preserve it in jars.
Oh, okay. So
like that type of thing.
That's true.
Because I saw a picture of a jar.
Of raw meat. Because like I've seen people like cook meat and put it in jars, and then it's good, but it's like raw meat.
Yeah, well, I mean, they could. Yeah. I mean, that's how they preserved everything,
right?
At that time,
that's
so
true.
they basically canned it. Yeah. You know, so most scientists could only confirm that it's meat.
That's it. They didn't say mutton. They didn't say
again.
bear?
It's 1876.
Well, yeah, but you think they would compare to some form of meat,
right? Well, we'll get into it.
Okay.
Scientist J.L. Smith said that the meat was dried frog spawn.
Okay, J.L.
okay, Mr. Smith. He said it's dried frog spawn for sure. Dried frog spawn.
Spawn? Mm-hmm. Okay.
But also, the reason it happened is that it got swept up in the wind and it was, quote, gently deposited onto the Crouch's farm.
Gently deposited. I thought it like pelted down.
No, it did.
Okay.
It was.
How would it be that much frog?
Yeah, that's a lot of frog.
Yeah.
That's a lot of frog.
What did you say? Like 100 yards?
100 yards long, 50 yards wide.
Okay, yeah. So it was a bit.
Yeah. It was a large area. It was like a small area, but it was large.
Also, I feel like people would be like, this is a reptile. It wouldn't look like meat, like from a bear or from a sheep.
Yeah,
you know what
frog
I mean?
looks different than cow and horse.
Right. I hope it wasn't a horse.
And what is it? Mutton?
Mutton, yeah. Yeah. Sheep, lamb, whatever it is.
Whatever that is.
I think lamb is veal. Wait, lamb's a baby, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's veal. And then mutton's like a grown sheep, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We got the meats.
And I think it's funny that he said it got swept up in the wind and gently deposited.
I mean, you know, at least he tried. At least he was creative.
It's like gently deposited. Right. Bro, were you there? I don't want to hear about it. So then there's a doctor in Louisville that they sent it to, which Hannah say Louisville. The Ville was a little weird, but I'm proud of you.
My family would say Louisville because they wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Because it is spelled that way, indeed.
Also, I'm not trying to call you out again. No, I just like hearing you say it.
It took Wes probably like 3 years to even get me to like somewhat be able to say. I have to think about it still. Louisville. Was that better or worse?
Louisville.
It sounds like your mouth is full of marbles.
Louisville. There we go. Louisville. She did it.
I puffed up my cheeks. Okay. Y'all try to say it. It's hard.
Louisville.
So he's a scientist or doctor?
He's a doctor.
Okay.
And he held it over like a Bunsen burner, I guess.
A Bunsen burner.
The Bunsen burner. I like the Bunsen burners.
I never got to use one.
Yeah, because you were homeschooled.
Yeah, but I did. There's a quote in the show that we watched where they were like making a film and this guy says, please pass the Bunsen burner. Like 10 times. So that's what I think of when I hear
They weren't passing the Bunsen burner quick enough, clearly.
Apparently.
They needed to get on it.
Yeah.
I like saying Bunsen burner. Anyways, so he held it over.
Okay.
Right? And he said it smelled like animal flesh being burned. Or...
Well...
Cool. Thanks for narrowing that one down, my guy.
Animal.
He didn't narrow it down at all. He just said it's definitely some form of animal flesh that's being burned. Okay. Cool. Or it smelled like mutton that had gone rancid.
Okay, so he's a muttoner.
He's a muttoner. He's a muttoner. That filthy muttoner.
So he's of that theory. Okay.
He's a mutton guy.
One might say. Oh, sorry.
Oh, man.
Sorry. Okay.
So that didn't really narrow it down at all.
Yeah.
So other people claimed that it looked like tissue from like that had been like ripped from the lung of a horse.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I realized I said lung. Yeah. And I touched my jugular.
And yeah, I did too.
But also Mrs. Crouch said that some of it looked like it had been like ripped from the throat of a cow or something. But it was like tissue from the lung of a horse or Hannah, I'm sorry. A human infant.
Oh gosh. How would they know that?
Here's the thing.
Oh.
Okay, a horse's lung, the tissue of a horse's lung, and the infant of a tissue, and the tissue of an infant. Oopsie, and the tissue of an infant. At the time, again, science was not the best. It shared too similar of a structure to be able to distinguish.
Right.
For the time. Obviously, now we can be able to tell if it's human or horse. But like,
I'm just thinking of the hunter that tried it. If it was human.
I think it's safe to say that it was probably a horse.
Yeah.
Just because they couldn't distinguish. It was too hard to distinguish between the two. So it was like, it could be a horse. It could be a human infant. We don't know.
Why an infant?
Given the fact that the other stuff was animal stuff, it's most likely a horse.
And that's a lot. And that's a lot of meat for an infant.
Well.
Oh gosh. What are you going to tell me?
Well, yes, it is a lot of meat for one singular infant. But... we've heard it could be frog. It could be mutton. It could be cow. It could be horse.
Yeah.
It could be an accumulation of all kinds of different meats.
It could be like lots of different. Maybe that's why some people said mutton and some people said bear.
Frog and bear. And yeah. So it's meat. Like it seemed to be different types of meat.
Okay.
That's literally what I had next. It was most likely that the meat was a combination of different animals, and then I put for funny for kicks and giggles,
for a little funny,
or a human baby.
Oh yes, that's such kicks and giggles.
Yeah,
it's just how would that be? It's hard for me to fathom that much of like the flesh from a poor little infant.
Again, though, it's like different types. Like there's that's literally the samples are literally different.
It could be a human mixed with animal.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
yeah. So it was mainly the meat mainly consisted of like lung meat, like muscles, cartilage, tissue, stuff like that. So no one really knows why this happened.
Right. Like what?
To this day, we haven't gotten a clear, yes, this is what happened and this is exactly why it happened. And part of that is you can't, like, one, again, science then is not science now. Nobody thought to like take measurements and like, even if they did think to take measurements and like samples and stuff, they couldn't have done anything with them.
No.
As far as like what we can do today.
Right. Has there been like any other instance of something like this, like anywhere else, or is this like the one?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, because I've heard of like obviously like birds falling from the sky, like a few birds like dying like at once, but like you would know it was a bird because it would just be
it would be a bird,
not just meat. So it's like I've heard of that, but I'm like, is there any other thing where just meat starts falling from the sky?
No.
Okay.
Sort of. No. We'll get into it. We'll get into it right now, actually.
Okay. Tell me.
Okay. I'm going to tell you the most likely cause first.
Okay. Right. Of course.
And then we'll get into the fun ones.
Ooh, the theories.
Okay. So the most likely cause was that it was a flock of buzzards flying over the farm.
Okay.
And now I know what you're thinking, but I just said you would obviously be able to tell that it's a bird.
Right.
Right. Okay. So do you know what buzzards do when they feel threatened or are like self-preservation? Like maybe there's like a loud noise or they see a predator and they get like, they feel threatened. Do you know what they do?
Do they play dead like possums?
No. What they do is they vomit up the contents of their stomachs. When they feel like there's a threat nearby. I don't know.
They're just like,
and then the real kicker is when they're like in a flock, which it's buzzards, so they're in flocks. Once one of them does it, all of them do it.
Oh, well, that's a good theory. Oh, the guy who ate
the people picking it up and the grease around it.
Yeah,
it was stomach acid.
Can you imagine? That guy probably got so sick.
I know.
Well, because not only is it puked up, but buzzards scavenge off of anything, like
dead animals.
Dead animals,
which could explain why they're puked on. Yeah, well, it could explain why there is so many different types.
Yeah,
because it's just whatever they ate last.
So it's probably like raccoon, possum.
Yeah,
like things that they probably hadn't eaten. Now they probably ate possum then, but I don't know if they ate raccoons. But frogs, yeah, anything.
Bear, it could be a bear.
Birds, yeah, like deer, sheep, anything.
Yeah. So
human baby, hopefully not.
Nah, that's what I'm saying is probably a horse.
Yeah.
But, you know, they scavenge off all kinds of things. And that could explain why, it looks like beef, but it's greasy.
But she didn't see the birds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But she might not have thought anything of it.
She didn't see the birds. She didn't report. She reported nothing but clear skies. And also...
Well, she had her hands in her soap. She wasn't looking at the birds.
Well, also the size of the flock would have had to have been...
Yeah.
To cover 100 yards long and 50 wide.
Right. And you said there were some the size of the hand. Like, wouldn't they be more digested? Or do they just, like, rip?
I think they just rip it.
Because I feel like that... Well, they rip it, but I feel like they're small rips. Like, because it's, like, the size of their beak. But I guess I could just...
But if they're, like, ripping it really quick, I feel like it could be big.
That's true. Ooh.
And maybe one of them didn't feel threatened. Maybe one of them was flying, was like, ooh, too big a bite.
Yeah.
And then they all went.
Didn't like that horse.
So the theory with this too is that the wind could have, because she didn't report.
Okay, it could have been windy. Yeah.
It could have been maybe a little windy. And you know, the higher up you go, the windier it gets.
Yeah.
So it could have been
flying higher up.
Yeah.
And then like moved
on. And then the wind scattered the meat over a larger area than what the birds were.
Right.
Because, you know, they're a flock. So they're going to be together.
Yeah.
Okay. So the only issue, again, is that she never reported, she or Mr. Crouch never reported seeing a large flock of buzzards flying over them. And again, the sheer amount of meat that fell is a questionably large amount.
Right, but how many buzzards are like fly together? Like
what's the size, the average size of a buzzard flock?
Yeah. Oh, some observations. So they usually, well, this is AI, so it might not be accurate, but they said they might be 3 to 5 or even larger groups of 15 or more. However, some observations have documented groups of up to 50 buzzards flying together, which that is a lot.
So if it was 50 buzzards, I could see them throwing up. And
now that's unusual, but this whole situation is unusual.
Even if it was like 20, I feel like
that's still quite a bit.
That's still 20.
Because think how much of meat they eat. Like, I feel like,
And if they had just eaten too.
Right. How high can buzzards fly?
I don't know. Actually, how high can they fly?
Buzzards typically fly at an average height of 400 meters, which is 1,300 feet. But have been observed reaching heights of 3,300 feet.
So they could have been up higher, and that's why nobody noticed them.
And it's just like when you know in a plane and you hear the sound.
Yeah.
And so they could have flown, puked,
and then as they were going over it,
the trajectory isn't straight down. You know, I don't know. I'm no scientist, but neither were they.
But neither were they. Clearly.
Sorry, I got distracted again. But I was just curious because I didn't know, because usually I do see like 3 buzzards, or something.
Yeah, I see. I don't think I've ever seen more than 3.
Yeah, exactly.
I see 2 or 3,
maybe 4. I don't think
I've even ever seen 4.
They're
but
usually in the little.
Yeah, they're usually smaller, which is why I was like, a flock of buzzards, though. Like really, like one. It could have been 2 that like maybe it was 2 flocks of buzzards and they were colliding. And that's why they threw up. What? And they were like, bleh.
Yeah.
You never know. So
it was March, right? So do they fly like, maybe some were like migrating or something or coming back.
Coming back from migration.
I don't know if they migrate, but lots of birds do.
Yeah.
So I
would imagine they would.
Yeah.
Because,
so maybe there was just lots.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Done with their vacation in Florida.
Who knows?
Puking up all their pina colada.
I don't know. Not the pina coladas.
I don't know.
If you like pina coladas.
Getting caught in the rain. The meat
rain. Yeah.
Sorry. What else you got for me?
So yeah, that's really that's the main accepted theory.
It makes sense.
There's some questions on it, but it makes the most sense.
Right.
And if one of those people ate it, I am sorry. That makes me want to vomit, which is why I said earlier, which is funny, and we'll get into why, because it's literally buzzard vom.
The gag reflex is I'm sorry guys if you have a hard time listening to the gag reflex, but it's like I am disgusted.
Yeah.
And I'm like sitting there like I could literally puke myself.
And it's like getting stuck, and you imagine the smell. Oh my God. Anyways, so we're gonna get into some supernatural.
Ooh, let's do it. I love these.
Supernatural. I say supernatural is more so religious, but everything I saw was supernatural.
Religious supernatural.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So most of the public saw it as like an omen.
Right.
Or a warning sign.
Right.
Or whatever. And so like the religious members of the community, they thought it was either a message or a warning or a punishment from God.
But just on this farm? You know, like...
I know. Like you'd think it would rain meat everywhere.
Or like, like there's something like what were the Crouches doing? Like
I don't know. Witches.
Right.
She was making soap.
I can understand why they would think this though, because like if you read the Old Testament and God is punishing the Egyptians, it's like all the like the frogs and the flies and like stuff like that and the blood rain or water or whatever. So it's like okay.
I see it. I see it. I see their thought process. Then others thought it was like a potential, if it was a warning, it was a potential like disaster. It was a sign for that. I don't know why I struggle so much with saying that, but
it's okay.
Or other people thought it could be a reflection of the moral failings of the community, which again, why wouldn't it be over the whole community?
Crouches?
Why just the Crouches? And I don't know if maybe the Crouches were like a prominent family or not.
Well, it doesn't seem like it. She was making soap.
Well, but it was 1876, and maybe.
But they were on a farm.
Yeah, but everybody has a farm at that time.
Yeah, you're right.
So it was like maybe they're more prominent in the, not like the most prominent, but maybe they are more prominent in the community, or maybe it was just like it didn't matter who it was. It could have happened to any of them, and the whole community had some moral failings. I don't know. If you feel convicted, you feel convicted. Right. Maybe you should stop doing that. But it sounds like it was just some birds vomiting on y'all.
Yeah. Just sounded like some bird vom. Don't worry.
But I get it. You know, the 1900s of it all. The superstitions. You know, it happens.
I would have been like, why us? What did we do?
What did we do?
Right. Like, that'd be scary. Anyway.
Yeah. I wonder what they thought warranted it being like, it's our community's moral feelings.
Right. Because they were like,
what were y'all up to?
Yeah.
What were y'all up to that you were so scared that it was an omen?
Right.
That you were being punished? What were you doing?
What were you doing?
What were you doing?
Naughty.
Sounds suspicious to me.
Maybe they were starting a cult.
Oh, not the cult.
I know.
The bird vom saved us from a cult.
Right.
Who knows?
Stopped it from happening.
Yeah. Other people believed, it's the 1900s.
Right.
Witches are still prominent. Witches. And so people were like, it's a curse from a witch.
Right.
A witch. Oh. So.
I mean, but what did the witch have against the Crouches?
Exactly.
Explain, witch.
Exactly. Well, and some stuff, some of the stuff that I read, it was like the community, like as a whole, thought that it was a curse on the community as a whole. And I was like, it happened once. You would think more stuff would be happening if it was witchcraft.
Maybe the witch got some of Mrs. Crouch's soap and it like broke her out. Maybe she just got mad and was got ticked. Made the birds vom on you.
She said, "Now I look like a witch."
Right. Thanks.
But also like some people thought that if it wasn't a curse from a witch, it was caused because there's witchcraft being practiced in the community.
So Miss Crouch was up to something besides that soap.
Maybe that soap had a little something in
it. A little sage just to get rid of.
Had some witch's brew.
Yeah. An eye of newt. Whatever.
I never saw actually anything claiming that Miss Crouch was a witch.
Yeah. Interesting.
I just saw that
a theory like that. They'd be like, the witch, burn her.
Yeah. I just saw that it was like, or drown her.
Right. Well, it's the late 1800s, so I don't think they really did that. But
yeah. But it was like all the witch stuff was like, there's a witch in the community and that's why this happened. Not like she was a witch.
But then why wouldn't it have vomited on the witch?
I know. We're just walking around just constantly getting pelted by meat falling from the sky. Here's my wonder too. I know that they sent samples and stuff, but my wonder too, and this is absolutely heinous.
Oh no.
Did people see this as free meat and take it home and eat it?
Well, that's what the hunter did.
Well, the hunter was trying to identify it.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Not because of slime.
And also, like, you don't know, like, how long was it sitting out there? Like, was it rotting? Yeah, it was March, so it wasn't like it was cold. Yeah,
it wasn't frozen on the ground, probably. Maybe, sometimes. But, like, it was...
It was March 3rd, so it was the beginning of March.
It was honestly nice because she was out making soap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she's probably not out there when it's freezing.
She's not going to be out there making soap when it's super, super cold.
Right.
So, anyways, that's just my other, like...
Oh, the thought
could you
of the
imagine,
slime
like,
on
if they, like... Oh gosh, no, I can't. That's so disgusting. I literally just gagged.
I want to cry.
Yeah, that was so gross. Okay, so that's the supernatural religious theories.
Right, okay.
Again,
there are other theories?
Why y'all misbehaving?
Yeah.
There's another theory. Another theory is that this is so dumb.
Okay.
Some people believed that it could have been from a tornado. To which I say, bitch, did y'all see a tornado?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what
was there a tornado in the area? Even were the winds high? Again, no, they weren't. It was a beautiful day outside, not a cloud in the sky. Reported from multiple people, not just Mrs. Crouch, but multiple people were like, "No, it's a beautiful day."
Well, the tornado would have brought other stuff, not just
meat.
It would have been like debris and trees and whatever.
People were saying meat was lifted from a different part of Kentucky.
And then
and that the wind carried it.
But where's the tornado?
Where's that nader?
Yeah, like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, even if because people were like, maybe it came from a slaughterhouse.
Okay,
because there are other documented instances of fish and frogs and small animals being lifted during a tornado and carried very far away.
Yes, things can get carried very far away. Yeah.
The tornado's moving very far away.
But the tornado, I mean, yes.
And then it dissipates and the wind dies down and then they fall. So, regardless, there would have had to have been, and I don't know if maybe the night before or something happened, but even still, even if it was that morning, that is such a long time to wait because it happened around 11 o'clock noon. And so
were there tornadoes reported in the area?
Not that I could find. That's it was not bad weather in the area.
Yeah.
So it's even if it was high wind or even if there was a severe weather that morning, thinking around 7 o'clock that morning, it would have fallen sooner. Before then.
Yeah.
It would have died down well before then. Which is why I think this is hilarious.
That's funny.
I think. Again, that's what I said. There were no reports of heavy winds, even heavy winds, in or around Bath County at the time, or right before the time.
Right.
It's also it's also now that we know science, it's believed that it would have spread over a larger area if this was the case. It wouldn't have focused on the small of an area. It would have been here's some and there's some, and
they would have carried some meat over to the next farm, or something. Someone else would have gotten something.
Yeah. So there's also too many different types of meat.
That's true. Yeah.
To have been picked up from one singular source, because so everybody's it's a slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
But there's frog, there's mutton, there's beer, there's bear.
It is hard to say.
There's bear. There's all kinds of, and that's just what they could. There's horse. Who's slaughtering a horse? No one. So that's just what people could identify at the time. Like you said, it could have been raccoon.
Yeah.
Could have been squirrel.
Possums.
You never know, and people just didn't identify it.
There's lots of little wild animals, there chipmunks and little chipmunks.
Little
cute.
Chipmunks.
I see the chipmunks.
Nothing stressed me out more than when I was in college watching the squirrels scale up the sides of the building. I was like, they're gonna fall, they're gonna die, they're gonna fall, they're gonna die.
We have some crawl up onto our balcony.
Oh my gosh, they're gonna fall, they're gonna die. It stressed me out so bad because it was just brick. They were just brick buildings.
Yeah, it's amazing what they can do. It's how are you just scaling that, Spider-Man?
Yeah, and the Spider-Man, spider squirrel.
Our next segment will be
about squirrels.
Yes,
spider squirrels.
Actually, be pretty interesting, I think.
Squirrels?
Sure. You never know. I mean, learning about animals is pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Dugongs, remember?
Like the beavers.
Yeah, you're obsessed with beavers, but not in a good way.
I'm scared of beavers.
I think they're so cute.
Beavers are terrifying. I learned how long their teeth get, and I said, no, thank you. I am out. And how much their tails weigh.
Right. But they don't weigh that much. We talked about that.
But the force, not how much they weigh, I guess, but the weightage of the force
that they can kill you with their tail.
They could one smack to the head, you're done. You're dead. Brain bleed instantly. I'm gonna skull crushed.
A horror film for you with a beaver.
Beavers might take a little while. Right. They're kind of hard to get careful. Make sure you don't die while you make that film.
Have you seen Narnia? They have CGI beavers, and that's what.
But can you CGI a beaver, Hannah?
Yeah, I can. I can learn.
Sure.
I can't CGI anything, but I'll learn.
But she'll learn.
I'll learn.
She'll get it done lickety split.
Right. I mean, come on. I can learn it. I can do it. Sure.
I believe you could do it.
Yeah.
I just think
or I'll hire an editor.
Yeah.
Put someone in a green screen outfit.
There we go.
And we got that.
Yeah, we got it. That's a big beaver.
It is a big beaver. It's okay.
Is it a grown person or is this a child?
Kid acting. They're like regular sized people. Well, actually, they put like little tennis balls on sticks for the beavers in Narnia, I think. But like with the wolf is a guy in a green suit. But that's more.
Well, yeah.
A human size. So sorry. Wow. That's whoa. We got on beavers. This has nothing to do with the topic.
Anyways, well, we said squirrel.
Yeah,
it could have been a beaver. We never know. Yeah, we never know. Poor little buddy. Except that you scare me.
Some healthy fear. It's fine.
Anyway, so my last thing is that in 2024.
Oh, that's recent.
Yeah.
Y'all, that's last year.
That's literally last year. In 2024, the Bath County Museum, they opened up an exhibit for the Bath County meat shower, or the Kentucky meat shower, as it's now known. And what's absolutely wild to me is that in this exhibit, there is an actual piece of the meat that fell that day that has been preserved from that day in the exhibit.
What the heck? Sounds like we need to make a little road trip to see this meat.
I just feel like that would be so gross.
Oh yeah, it's disgusting.
Like, could you imagine seeing that? I feel like it's probably gray and yellow and...
Well, I wonder how they preserved it. Like, I'm sure that it was one of the scientists they sent it to, and they probably preserved it the best that they could.
Well, yeah, the best that they could, but like canning something isn't.
No, well, no. Especially if it's still raw. They didn't cook it.
No, yeah, it's raw. It's gross.
Is it like dehydrated at all, or like how?
I think it's in liquid.
Oh, they have it suspended in a liquid.
Yeah.
Also, can we note
it is in liquid?
Oh, ew! But it's turned like white,
and it's like yellow.
Wait, can I see it?
Yeah, get it away from me.
Get it away from me.
Get it away from me.
I was expecting it to be a lot more gross. Like, what is the liquid?
I don't know. The liquid's like black.
Yeah, that looks like it's like turned white. Is that mold, or is that just like the way that the meat like turns?
It's probably mold.
I wonder what kind of animal that one is.
Maybe that one's chicken.
Maybe
140-year-old.
Ew. Can we just note also that it's in Bath County and they named it a meat shower?
Meat shower. Yeah.
Ironic. Interesting that
Bath
happened.
County, there was a shower. It was meat.
Twas meat.
Twas meat. Just like it's like you think there's like a shower made entirely of meat.
Yeah.
Like that you actually can shower in.
Ew.
Like with running water.
Ew. Didn't like Lady Gaga wear a meat dress?
She sure did.
Okay.
She did do that. Iconic.
She is iconic. She's got a great voice.
She does.
Yeah, she does.
She does.
Can you imagine though, making a meat dress out of the viscous meat from the just using that word, it made Felina turn away. Like with the slime on it.
Stop. But yeah, I think that let us know which theory you think is the most believable.
I definitely think the vomit.
The vomit is the most believable, which is disgusting.
It's so disgusting, but it makes sense. It's the one that, because like
logically makes most sense.
And why it would be over only the Crouch's farm and like it just in general, like where else would it, like, because you said there's no planes, like they would have seen other things, and like technically yes, they can fly high, there can be big groups, so it's like it's all like these weird factors that just somehow like matched up that day.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a weird circumstance, but it's the most believable.
It is the most believable,
I think. Personally.
Guys, sorry if we like ruined. I hope you weren't like eating.
Yeah,
when you were listening to this.
We probably should have put a disclaimer, but we're not gonna.
Don't be eating breakfast.
Yeah.
Don't be. I was drinking coffee the whole time.
No, well, coffee's not meat.
Yeah, I know.
What if someone's eating like a chicken biscuit?
Taste the biscuit.
Taste the biscuit with the butter sauce.
Just hopefully you weren't eating steak, because that's how I was imagining
with it. Steak for breakfast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe they're having like a steak and eggs.
Yeah,
I had that the other day at brunch. Steak and eggs.
Steak and eggs.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, a little bagel.
A little bagel.
A little bagel.
What? I want a bagel.
I want a bagel too.
We don't get a lot of carbs on Weight Watchers.
But I do have a bagel recipe that I made out of cottage cheese, and it was really good. But I'm going to tweak it. And I need to make it again. But here's my thing, y'all. I have ants.
Oh, goodness.
Our window wasn't sealed, right? Like there was like a gap. We have a split level, and apparently split levels actually do split.
They separate.
And so it's like the house has shifted a little bit, and like the wind, like where it was sealed, it wasn't sealed. So that's how the ants get in every single spring. It's so annoying. Oh my gosh. I'm at war with these ants. I caulked the bottom.
Yeah.
But then like I missed a spot. I get because it's hard to see.
Yeah.
And it was my first time ever using it. So
so
whatever.
That's okay. Trial and error.
Yesterday I literally I came home, let the girls out,
the dogs.
Hung out for a second. The dogs. Hung out for a second. And then I walked in and I went to go like, I don't even remember what I was going to do, but it was like literally hundreds of ants just coming in and out from this little tiny, little hole.
Well, yeah, they can just.
And I was like, oh my God, because I set out a trap too. And the trap, they were not interested in it at all. Until yesterday, all of a sudden, there was like hundreds of them.
They said, it's a trap.
I said, oh gosh. But it wasn't killing, like they were carrying stuff back. And so then they said crumbs. I was trying to clean it up and seal it up, because I saw exactly where they were coming from, because they were coming in and out of it. And it was absolutely vile. And I hated it. And they were all over the place. And also we have black countertops, so it's like impossible to see them. We can only see them on the backsplash.
Yeah.
Whenever they're like crawling up the backsplash. So it's like, ugh. But so I took some I sprinkled baking soda everywhere and I sprayed it with vinegar. Yeah. Because the baking soda kills them. Yeah. So fun fact, baking soda kills ants. And I sprayed them with vinegar.
Just baking soda?
Yeah. Oh, wow. If you put baking soda in some water. Oh. Spray it. Wow. So I sprinkled it everywhere, sprayed it vinegar down everywhere, and they all died, and I was wiping it up, and then there was ants running around the trap that were still alive and trying to get out. And so I set out another trap to hopefully help with that. But yeah. It was disgusting.
You're having an ant shower, one might say.
An ant infestation.
Ant infestation.
It makes me feel so dirty, but it's literally just because it's spring and they're coming out of the ground.
My bane is fruit flies, because whenever I get bananas and it gets slightly warm, all of a sudden there's fruit flies. And I'm like, you get out of my house.
See, we don't get fruit flies that badly, knock on wood.
It's not bad. It's 2 or something. It just drives me insane. We did last year get quite a bit, and I was mad. But this year I've only seen 1 or 2, but it just still makes me mad. I'm like, get away. Don't be eating my fruit.
This year it's so much worse with ants than it was last year.
I haven't seen any yet. Fingers crossed, knock on wood.
You also live on the 2nd floor, though.
Yes. Yeah, I have an apartment.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Anyways, if you have any tips and tricks on how to get rid of ants or fruit flies, you can reach us at lattespodcast@gmail.com. or Facebook and Instagram under Lattes on My Mind. Or you can find us on our website, lattespodcast.com, and you can reach out to us straight from there. Also, please do not forget to submit your little furry friends or lack of fur friends on our Pet of the Week, and we will feature them.
Yes, we're waiting.
We are waiting. We're waiting. It's just our dogs right now. Yeah. We've already featured our dogs. So
we need someone else, guys. Come on.
Yeah. Come on, people.
Well, if you know of any other weird natural phenomena, if that's how you say it, that you would like us to cover, let us know, because I'm sure there's more things out there that has been very strange beside meat showers.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. We can absolutely cover it. Yeah. And do not forget to comment or follow or subscribe, however you want to do it, to us with Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Audible, or YouTube.
Yep.
All right, everybody have a great day, and watch out for those meaty rains.
Yeah, try not to vomit.